What's up? Jean Algo here. Here I am once again on the riverbank. Now you can see though I've given it some time for the plant life to start growing back. I can hear birds somewhere up there in the trees. Anyway, thought this would be a good time to do the first nature video. I doubt we'll find any today. But there's a couple of species of frogs that have recently started coming up out of the river. Now, if you don't know how a frog's hibernating habits are, they actually burrow into the ground and essentially freeze over. Their breathing and heart rate slows to a near stop, and they actually start to be encased in ice. However, once the weather warms up, their breathing and heart rate starts returning to normal, and they crawl out of the ground. Now, when I say frog, I think what we have around here is actually a species of toad. Not that we don't have any frogs, because we have a couple of species of tree frog. I'm going to be trying to show you some of those. I'm going to be trying to show you a couple different lizard species. Couple different bird species. Actually, something I'm honestly hoping I will get to show you: ducks taking off on the water. It can be something amazing to watch. Now, around here, we've got a groundhog. However, I don't know if I'll be able to show it to you, because as any living creature should be, it's kind of shy around humans. But in the spirit of starting you guys off small, I figured we'd start at the smallest with a local insect life. This block of wood right here is bark from a long since dead tree. This is an ecosystem. That looks to be a small sapling. Either that or poison ivy. My knowledge of plant life ain't too great. Here we have a little millipede. Oh, quite a few of them actually. Right there we have an earthworm. Something I should say. Yes, they're iconically used as bait, and for good reason. But if you're going to try and fish around here, I've not had worms work out too well. The best thing I found to use for fishing around here is either cut up meat or chicken liver. You'll be able to bring in channel cats with that. This is what lots of people know as a roly-poly, because it rolls up into a ball. Around here, though, people just call them pill bugs. Here we have a green worm. Now, I've heard people say that green worms make better bait than your average earthworm, but I've never had any luck with either. Not that I'm huge on fishing, because I don't want to say I find it boring, because it is exciting enough to catch a fish, I guess. It's just, there's a lot of sitting around and waiting. Which is something that someone hyper as me ain't really got the time to be doing. Here we have a snail. Now, you'll see them in gardens. Some people call them pests. But in truth, they can help a garden about as much as they can harm it. Now you see, this is sand on the inside of a log. Sand and dirt. While you will find some insects that are quite at home in the sand, it's honestly a bit dry for your average earthworm or centipede or millipede. Here's a tip for anyone that's doing a science project for school or extracurricular or whatever that has to deal with ecosystems. What I'm holding up right now can actually be considered a viable ecosystem. This small piece of bark right here. See how I can just squish that with my hands? That's because it's been wet and dry so long that it's doing something ironically called dry rotting. From then on out, certain various kinds of fungi will start eating away at it, giving some of the smaller organisms the means to live. Those smaller organisms will be food for larger ones, and then larger ones, until you have a food chain. Now, these here are grubs. They're also something that, trust me, you want to be a little bit wary of holding. Oh, holy fucking shit. Pardon my language, but you do not see what I just now had my arm right next to. Look at this. This is a fishing spider. Holy shit. Oh, I gotta take a walk for that one. Oh, my arm was right next to that thing. While I myself am not an arachnophobic, I have had some experiences with spiders that would tend to shake a person up. I actually had a fishing spider, just a tad larger than our specimen right there, fall on my chest one night when I was playing a video game. Yeah, there I am, playing I don't know if you guys have heard of it or not, but a video game called Dead Trigger on my phone. And all of a sudden I just get that, you know how you feel all of their legs just moving like that? Yeah. So, here's the web that I can only assume belongs to our little friend. Yeah, there's no other right there. I think it's safe to say that that dude's the owner of the web. Now, these are not supposed to be highly toxic, although honestly I still wouldn't recommend taking a bite off of one. Especially as some people have weaker immune systems and antibiotic factors and stuff like that than others. Now, if this was on, say, a piece of bark or something, it would undoubtedly camouflage right in. There's just a close-up for you of it. By the way, I should say this now, any arachnophobics in the audience, yeah, you might want to look away for that one. Let's see if I can't get it to show its fangs to us. I'm not for sure what that was. I'm trying to flip it over onto its back right now, but it doesn't seem to want to play that kind of game. There. I'm just gonna roll. Also, I am being very, very gentle. I am not putting near enough pressure on the spider to actually hurt it. There we go. I'm gonna put the rock back now. Just want to make sure I don't crush the little guy. Oh. I'm going to put the camera down for a second. Here we have a small hole on a tree trunk. Now there seems to be nothing in here right now. I'm just going to put the camera down for a quick second again. But you will find that birds sometimes tend to nest in small little crevices like that. Squirrels are also tend to build their homes around places like that. They think they're safe from birds. Here it looks like we have some kind of pellet. No, I'm sorry, not pellet, but dropping. I'd say by the size of the droplets, probably a deer. We do have them, it's just I haven't really got the chance to show you one yet. Anyway, why I started freaking out at first, my elbow was that close to where I saw the spider. If it wanted to, it could have bit me. Let's see if I can't just lift this up. Oh, I would not be surprised to see a spider under this rock. I'm just going to set the camera down again. Doesn't appear to be. Ants. This is an ant nest. Now, some ants can only bite. That one appears to be carrying either food or larvae. Some can bite and sting. As you can see, we actually have ourselves quite a network right there. These are the worker or drone ants. Now, if you guys thought that fishing spider was something, a colony of ants like this can easily take on a spider like that. They use something called pheromones to call in reinforcements. Let me just put the camera down once more, so I can get the top of the shutter flipped back over. When one attacks you, more will come. Hear that? Something appears to be breaking branches. It's not me, because there really ain't that much around my feet. If you're in your own backyard, I guarantee you'll find something like what we're seeing here. And probably a bit more. But as with everything, there are certain things you can do to ensure your safety. For example, you see how I'm always picking up these real big sticks? And then I seem to be poking the ground with them. I'm doing this to alert any snakes that might be around in my presence, thusly alerting me to them. The main thing we have around here, garter snakes, black rat snakes, and copperheads. You can tell when one copperhead's nearby. Actually, not really like the myth claims. Their heads aren't always that shiny color of copper. Plus, they like to hide around leaves and logs, close to the same colors they are. Garter snake will bite you, but they're not venomous. About all you have to bother with there is treating a wound, antiseptic, and bandages. You're good to go. Black rat snakes will bite if perturbed, same as any creature will, but they are also not venomous. They actually kill by constricting rats and whatever other prey they're eating. A copperhead, however, is one of the few venomous snakes we have around here. While nothing compared to the famous King Cobra or King Brown, copperheads still will deal the death to you. If you're bitten and proper procedures aren't taken. For example, it's good to have immediate hospitalization if you can. See what I'm doing? If there were a snake anywhere near these leaves of this log, it would have attacked the stick, or at the very least went away to hide. Now this is something I've been wanting to show you. Here you have a shelf mushroom. It's called that because when they're on trees they look like shells. Here you have a cat. I just buried it. Let's try this again, shall we? Here you have a cat. Now, some mushrooms are edible and supposed to be delicacies. I don't get it. I think all mushrooms are tasteless and rubbery, but to each their own, I guess. But the two that I just showed you Yeah, I wouldn't want to put them on a pizza. Now, if you look at these, you'll want to be careful touching them. Not really because they can make your skin itch if you're allergic to them, but because they can sting you. And here we have everyone's least favorite, if you can see them, mosquitoes and termites. Occasionally, right here, you'll see a bass or a cat jump. By cat, we mean catfish. Yeah, when you hear the old saying, "There's more than one way to skin a cat," they're not talking about actually skinning a cat, but rather a catfish. If I do decide to try fishing this season, I'm going to have the camera set up, and I'm going to try to catch fish to show you guys. I'm not a big fan of eating fish. That's just a meal that's kind of hit or miss with me. So I'm probably just going to be catch and release only. Now, right here, someone's been trying their luck. Right here, at certain times of night, you'll see gar popping up. And that right there, the dead fish there, is a shiner. Basically a small bass. They're actually used for bait for bigger fish. The thing about a gar is that you don't really want to catch one. Here's a closer view of the water. I want to be careful right there. There's been some people that's actually fallen right there. It's a false bottom. The sand will not take the average human weight. It will crumble and whomever unfortunate enough to stand on it will sink. Not like quicksand. The world pretty much just breaks underneath you. So, Not sure what I'm going to call this series. A look at nature? Nah, that'll work. So this has been episode 1 of A Look at Nature. Jean Al Ghul out.